The fact that you have decided to pursue a professional course is one of the best decisions of your life. But what if you end up picking the wrong professional course? This video is for anyone who is confused as to what to pick between CA, CMA and CS. However, if you have already picked a professional course out of these three, you can still have this video as a reference to see if you are in the right course or not. If somebody asks you what does a doctor do, you would have a clear answer for that. A doctor basically treats people's illnesses. But if somebody asks you what does a CA, CMA or a CS do, what would you say to them? So in the first segment of this video, I'll be explaining what these professionals do on a normal basis, because you need to know the job nature of that particular profession before deciding if you really want to pursue that course. The second segment is the core of this video, which talks about the three factors that guide you in deciding which course to pick. If you are already aware of what these professionals do, then you can skip to the second segment directly. Otherwise, I would recommend you to watch this video fully. Let's begin. Okay, now let us talk about CMA. Everyone who is into manufacturing or providing service would want to know that how much does it cost for them to manufacture a particular product or provide a particular service. So cost accountants are primarily responsible for finding this out. As a cost accountant, you will specifically work in a domain called as Management Information System, which is commonly known as MIS. This means you are the information supplier to the top management. Suppose you are a cost accountant working in automobile industry and your company is into making two-wheelers. That means you should have complete control over how much it is going to cost to make a two-wheeler. You should be having a detailed record of how the cost structure of a single scooter is spread out. For example, how much is the manufacturing cost, what is the advertising cost, how much is spent on logistics, etc. You should be reporting this to the top management on a periodical basis. And in case there is a change in macroeconomic variables, suppose there is a war somewhere, the cost of the imported raw materials might increase. You also should report to this to the top management immediately on how the war has impacted on the total cost of one unit of the scooter, and also how much was the impact on the final profit. So as a CMA, you would get raw data from the accounts department. You do analysis on the raw data by applying all the knowledge you gained from the CMA course. You arrive at your conclusions, convert that raw data into meaningful information, and you give that as your input to the top management. The information you supply to the top management would play a key role in their decision making. Generally speaking, the costing of a manufacturing company is much more complex than the costing of a service providing company. Therefore, CMAs will have more job opportunities in the manufacturing sector. A company secretary is basically responsible for ensuring that the company is adhering to all the legal requirements that are applicable in this country. And a CS is also responsible for ensuring that there is a proper paperwork maintained in the company. The company secretaries do have a range of specific responsibilities. One of the key responsibilities is to be in charge of all the meetings held in the company. Now there are two types of meetings in a company. One is general meeting and the other is board meetings. To give you an idea of what is annual general meeting, if you have seen the movie Guru, Abhishek Bachchan would be the managing director of his company, and there would be a couple of scenes where he meets all the shareholders of his company. The number of shareholders in his company would be too many that they would need a cricket stadium to hold the meeting. So typically in an annual general meeting, the board of directors present the annual report to the shareholders of the company. They will discuss how the company has performed in the last year and what the board of directors have as a plan for the future with respect to this company. So that is annual general meeting. The other type of meeting is board meeting, where the shareholders do not participate and only the board of directors would gather and discuss about the business of the company. So as a company secretary, your responsibility would be to make the complete arrangements with respect to these meetings. Such arrangements would include a lot of activities ranging from finalizing the date on which date the meeting is going to be held and setting the agenda of what is going to be discussed in the meeting, to finally issuing the notices and being present in the meeting, observe what is being spoken, take notes of the arguments and conclusions reached, and finally prepare minutes of the meeting and report it to the government as well as the shareholders. So conducting meetings is one of the key responsibilities of company secretaries. Apart from conducting meetings, the company secretaries will also deal with drafting deeds, making press releases, drafting the terms and conditions of all the contracts that the company enters into. They have to ensure that the contracts are drafted well enough so that there is no legal complications in the future. So CS is basically a profession that ensures compliance to law and maintenance of paperwork in a company. Now let us talk about chartered accountants. CA can do the most comprehensive set of jobs in comparison with the other two we discussed. A chartered accountant would do a lot of stuff what a CMA does and some of the stuff what a CS does. But a chartered accountant can do a lot of other unique stuff what a CMA and CS cannot do. I will explain in very simple terms that the chartered accountants in general provide assurance that the financial reports published by the companies, whether they are genuine and whether they show a true picture or not. They are also responsible for reporting the instances of fraud if they discover any during the course of their work. Apart from this, chartered accountants can work anywhere ranging from core accounting and finance to tax, MIS, IT systems development, portfolio management, and so on. It is super difficult to enlist all of what a chartered accountant can do in this small video. It's a whole different breadth of possibilities, and therefore I am saving that for a separate video. Now that we have seen what these professionals largely do on a day-to-day basis, we will get into the segment of how to decide which course to pick by considering 3 factors. Now, before I talk about the factors, I have to give you an important information that even though the syllabus of all the 3 courses overlaps each other by 70%, the career opportunities post-qualifications are highly different between the 3 courses. I don't mean to be biased, but CA is a slightly more difficult course to do in comparison with CMA and CS. And also after qualification, chartered accountants have a slight edge over cost accountants and company secretaries across multiple variables, be it in terms of job opportunities, remuneration, or career flexibility. Now with that clear, let us talk about the 3 factors. Factor number 1, personality. Pick the course that suits your personality the most. Suppose you are a word-oriented person. You are good with language, especially English. You love keeping things organized. You find it easy to follow the calendar and you hardly miss an appointment. You are very punctual and you don't like to experiment things much and you are happy to follow the rule book. And you have general interest in law and the legal field. If you can resonate with all the above points, then picking CS would be the best option for you. You might do a great job as a company secretary. On the other hand, suppose you are a number-oriented person. You are not that great with language, but you are good with logic. You can sit with a problem tirelessly for hours and try to figure out a solution. You have an analytical mind and you pay great attention to details. You love to experiment things and you are okay with making mistakes, and doing trial and error won't disturb you that much. If you can resonate with these points, then CMA or CA is a much better course for you. You are much more likely to do a better job as a cost accountant or a chartered accountant. Now let us talk about factor number 2, family and lifestyle preferences. As I said, cost accountants majorly work in manufacturing sector, so their place of work would be factories. And we all know that factories are located outside the town limits or city limits. So as a cost accountant, either you will have to do long commutes every day, or you might have to relocate to a place which is nearby the factory. This might not be possible for all. And if we talk about company secretaries, their place of work would be from corporate offices, which would be located in major cities. So if you are a company secretary, it is most likely that you are going to get a job in the same city that you are currently living. And now let us talk about chartered accountants, especially those who are in audits. They would have to travel a lot. There were times in my articleship where I was continuously on the travel for a period of 4 to 5 months back to back, continuously hopping from one place to another. So if you don't like travel, or you cannot relocate, or you don't want to relocate, or if you want to work from a city, then doing CS would be a more suitable option for you. On the other hand, if you don't have any family restrictions with respect to travel or relocating, then you can definitely consider CMA or CA. Now let us talk about factor 3, picking the course based on passion. Let us sideline whatever we have spoken in factor 1 and 2. If you have a super passion for any of the courses that we have discussed above, then just simply pick that. Because if you have enough passion, that would give you the drive and the energy for you to pick up the skills which you don't have right now but is essential for your career. Say you are a language oriented person and you are not that great with numbers, but you are so passionate about manufacturing or building things, then you can definitely pick CA or CMA and eventually develop the number and logical skills. But let us say that you are not that very big on having a specific passion. You just want to do a professional course and settle career wise. In that case, give a real thought to the first two factors I mentioned above based on personality and lifestyle preferences, and then select the course which is most applicable for you. That way you can avoid a lot of resistance in your professional journey. The final note in this video is that whatever I have discussed are for guidance purposes only. I definitely do not intend to give you an idea that even if you pick the course that is totally fit for you, that does not mean that you can coast away the entire period, open the book 1 week before the exams and clear without difficulty. Definitely not going to happen. These are professional courses. They have strong governing bodies and they have great exam standards that filter out the bad candidates. Without genuine effort, none of the courses can you clear comfortably. I hope you keep that in mind. Pick the right course, just be consistent for 4 years, and I'm very sure that you are going to have a great professional career. On that note, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.